Welcome guys, this is General Games, GenCon 2017. I'm Scott here with Ryan.
And we're here with Tim.
And we're with Tim. How you doing, man? The old Honest Thomas.
Tim's going to run us through a demo of the new looking fantastic game, Star Wars Legion.
Yeah, the new miniatures game from Fantasy Flight. What do you got for us, Tim?
So this is Star Wars Legion, new miniatures game, like you said, in Star Wars universe. We're going to start here with a battle in progress. What we've got on each side here, we've got the Empire with 4 different units, and then we've got the Rebellion with 4 different units. And we're going to kind of start mid-activation here so we can get kind of the basics of the game out.
That makes sense, yeah.
Let's start over here with the Imperial troops here. I'll flip that token up here. So we're going to start with most of these units have activated already.
So these are like activation tokens?
Yeah, right. So those are command tokens, and they represent, tell us whether or not a unit has activated.
Alright, that makes sense, yep.
So a unit could be comprised of either just a single miniature like Darth Vader, or a cluster of miniatures like those stormtroopers over here.
Is there a maximum amount of units you can have?
It depends on the cards, so they have different values there depending on how much V points you invest here. Today we've got just the 5 stormtroopers in a group there. So we're going to start by, how about moving them into a position to shoot at the rebel troopers over
I can't wait.
Awesome.
I feel like, go for it.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, I feel like this thing concerns me. Scott's playing Rebels, I'm playing Empire, of course. But I feel like this cover looks pretty good, so I'm going to move into cover here.
Fantastic. So the way we're going to do that, we'll look down at our unit cards there. So you've got a card there for your stormtroopers. And you'll see on the lower, that's the reverse side, we'll flip it around. On the reverse side, we'll see on the lower right-hand side, there's a set of up to 3 red bars there. That tells us the maneuver template we can use at max for this particular unit. So in this case, we can use the 2-speed maneuver template.
Okay.
So we're going to grab that guy right here.
Yep.
And you'll notice one of your miniatures looks different than the other miniatures in the unit. That's our unit leader. He's got the nice little Imperial pauldron there. So go ahead and set one end of that maneuver template up to his base. Yep. And then you can position the other end anywhere. We probably want to tuck him right behind the center of this cover here.
Right there, looks good.
Yep.
It's almost like it was set up for it, right?
And you don't necessarily have to move the full distance, but we want to get behind that cover without imposing a cover penalty on it.
Correct? Yep. Okay, and then everybody else.
So you could move partially up that template?
Yeah, you can go partially up the template. And you could also use, if they have a max of 2 speed, you could also use the 1-speed maneuver template if you prefer.
And I'll just move everyone up, but they have to be
thankfully we don't have to use the template. We're just going to grab our 1 template here and put the other miniatures into cohesion.
Yes.
So that means they can be at most that's far away, but well within that up to touching the unit.
Yeah.
So just go ahead and move them.
Pile into cover.
So you move the leader and then you arrange the rest into miniature cohesion.
Yep. Most of the functions you do, like actions, are usually based on what the unit leader's position is. So when you're measuring range for attack or line of sight, you'll do that from the unit leader.
He's pointing at it.
So when we activate, we get to do 2 actions on a round. So that move was our first action.
Yep.
We also got some other actions here. We can aim, which allows us to re-roll attack dice when we attack. We can take a dodge, which gives us a dodge token to cancel a hit when we get attacked. And we can also just attack.
Okay.
So why don't we try to attack here?
That sounds good.
Yeah, so we've got this really nifty range ruler here. This comes in segments that detach up to range 4. So each segment represents 1 length of range. So 1 to 2, and then up to 4.
Okay.
So we can check their weapon value on their card. So you'll look on the front of the card there. You've got 2 weapons on the bottom. We've got their melee attack unarmed.
Yep.
And we've got their blaster rifle there too. That's a ranged weapon.
Okay.
So we can see the range designated there is range 1 to 3.
Yep.
Yeah. So we're going to measure from our unit leader all the way to the closest miniature in the unit we're attacking.
Okay.
So go ahead and take his ruler.
All right. So we'll go for this unit.
Yep. Why don't we shoot those rebels there?
So 1 to 3, we're in range.
You're within range. That means you can perform the attack.
Leave my rebels alone. What did they ever do to you?
Well, I feel like aiming's pointless for stormtroopers because we all know they can't aim, right? So
you could probably hit this guy.
Yeah.
This guy is quite large.
And that's 1 white dice I'm rolling, correct?
Well, so the way that works is when you have multiple miniatures in your unit, you're going to roll that per miniature.
Okay, perfect.
So I'm going to grab 1 more for my friend over here.
So you have 5 models, so you're going to roll 5 dice.
Yeah.
The dice is shown on the card here.
There you go. And now we do have cover here, because if we were to check line of sight from the unit leader to each miniature, if at least half of them are behind cover, that's going to provide a cover bonus here.
Okay.
But first, let's roll this attack die here to see how many hits we can get.
5 misses.
All right.
I can feel it.
See if stormtroopers can do what stormtroopers do.
Awesome. So we got 2 different types of results here.
Okay.
3, I guess. The blanks, of course, don't generate anything.
Yeah.
We've got a hit result here, and we've also got a surge result.
A surge result.
So a surge result changes depending on what the unit can do.
Okay.
So it's similar to Imperial Assault.
Yeah. So we're looking here at the surge chart. There's 2 slots there. The top one is the offensive surge chart, and the bottom one would be the defensive.
Okay.
They don't have any defensive surge chart.
Because they're stormtroopers.
Right, but they do have an offensive one.
Okay.
So they can change they can change all their surge results into hit results.
Okay, awesome.
So go ahead and convert with that die. If they didn't have that, they'd have to convert all the surges to blanks. Yep. So we got 2 hits. Now, before we roll defense die, we're going to apply that cover.
Okay.
So what cover does is it cancels 1 regular hit result. It can't cancel a crit result.
Sure.
But since we have 2 hit results here, we're going to remove one of those.
Sounds good.
Awesome. So now we're going to roll defense.
Okay.
So we're going to look at our Rebel Trooper card, and we're going to see what type of defense die they use. In this case, they use a white defense die. And they're going to roll a number of defense die equal to the number of uncanceled hits or crit results. All right?
Okay.
So we've got just 1 hit result. So our Rebel player can roll.
Phil, let's get this out of here.
You don't need to.
Awesome. So we got a surge result on this defense die.
Okay.
Now we're going to check their card. Do they have a surge modifier here? Defensively, that's important. So they don't have an offensive one, but they do have a defensive conversion. So they can change that result into a block, into a dodge.
Is this a dodge?
You got it.
All right.
That cancels out, so we're not going to deal any
That
wounds
was
to
as
those
effective as I
stormtroopers.
figured it would be.
That's it. So now that,
So I only roll 1. Do I roll 1 per hit? Or?
yeah, 1 per uncancelled hit or crit. Yep. All right, so now that's resolved. We've done our 2 actions on those stormtroopers, so let's go ahead and flip that command token over to represent that unit's activated. Now all of your units have activated.
Okay.
Awesome. So we're going to move over here to the Rebel side. Most of these units have activated except for our Rebel troopers over here.
Alrighty.
All right, so to activate these guys, probably be a good idea to move them into position so they can start shooting at the Empire.
Alrighty, so I get the movement stick.
Yeah, so you're going to check your movement speed there on your
My Rebel card. The Rebel Troopers?
Yep. And looks like we got 2 bars there, so you can go up to 2 speed.
Alright, yep. Alright.
This guy right here.
This one? Alright. So we're gonna... So
You go from your unit
Captain
leader.
Bluehead here is the...
So actually it's this guy right
this guy,
here.
okay, so-
We'll move him up
so
to where he's supposed to be. There we
we'll
go.
just put that in there.
Yep.
I'm gonna put it behind cover. I think I'm gonna
It's a good idea.
position it over here. Get this trooper card out of the way. So we move this gentleman all the way to here.
You're right there. And now you're just going to put the rest of them in cohesion. So at most,
So I
range
just-
1 away.
So I just basically put this away from here
Yep.
and then just...
And you can hold
I
it
got
up
like
to
a kind of
measure.
circle,
Yeah.
so I can just chuck this guy here,
You
this
got
guy
it.
here.
And if you have guys behind, for argument's sake here, that entire unit can still shoot even though they're behind.
Correct, yeah. So what we're looking for the cover in this particular demo game is if you make contact or close to contact, that's not going to impede your shot.
Okay.
All right, so we've got those guys moved. That's their first action.
Yep.
They're going to get to take a second action.
I'm looking
now.
forward to it.
All right, so what do you want to do?
I would like to shoot.
Would like to shoot? All
They
right.
got guns.
They do have guns. We can check their weapon value down here. They've got the blaster.
Again, we got the blaster.
Yep, looks like we got a range 1 to 3 weapon there, and they're going to roll a black die per miniature in that unit.
All right, a black die. Are they better than white dice?
A little bit better.
Alrighty.
All right, so
I have 5.
now before you declare your attack, you can always pre-measure with the range ruler.
Okay.
Because if you declare an attack and you don't have range, you're not going to be able to shoot. So
Certainly.
obviously the best option would be to pre-measure there.
All right, so I'm going to measure from my commando. My
From
commander.
your unit leader.
My
Yep,
unit leader.
this
Yeah,
guy.
sorry, unit leader.
And see if you, to the closest miniature in the...
I'm pretty sure I'm in range there.
It
Yeah.
looks like you got it.
He's pointing, he's going
It also
behind.
looks like they do have cover because they're all enough of them.
I can
behind
see that.
barricade.
So I need 5 black dice.
You do. I'm going to grab one more from my friend.
Alrighty. So there's 4 of them. So we're looking at the die here. We've got a blank, a surge, a hit, and a critical hit. So it's similar stuff to like X-Wing, Imperial Assault Armada. It's a cool combination of the both. Alright, I'm going to roll these. Alright, so I got 2 crits and a surge.
All right, so the blanks will go away. We got the crit results. Now we're going to check if they have an offensive surge conversion. They do not.
No offensive surge
All right,
conversion.
so that's going to convert to a blank.
Okay.
So we've
just
got
2.
2 crit results. Now they do have a cover bonus over here, but since they're crit results can't be canceled by cover, and they can't be canceled by dodge tokens.
That's what I was going for when I shot.
Nailed it. All right, so that means you're going to roll defense die though to try and cancel these. So you're going to check what their defense die is.
Stormtroopers defense guys.
Looks like they've got a red defense die. A little bit better.
Nice.
All right, go ahead and roll
The
those.
armor helps.
All right, so we got a blank,
Yep.
and we got to block one of those. Awesome. So 1 wound's going to go through.
So I just remove the guy.
Yep, so we can look at the wound threshold on
Yep.
these guys, the yellow value. They have a wound threshold of 1 per miniature.
Yes.
So when you apply the wound, you're going to remove one of your non-unit leader miniatures.
Okay, so just a guy at the back.
Yep, take him off the board there. Yep. And obviously now when you attack with that unit, you're going to have a reduced attack value.
So he's wondering why he brought the armor at all. This is done now?
Yep, so they've finished activating, and that's going to be the end of a round there.
Okay.
So we can move into a full next round. So let's go ahead and collect those command tokens.
So I just picked them up. All of them?
For it. Yep,
All right.
all 4 of them.
Alright, so
Now,
we
if
got
we look
4
at the
here.
front side of these command tokens, we'll notice they have a rank insignia on them. The triangles are the core insignia. Those are for the Rebel troopers. on this end. That's the commander insignia. That's for our friend Luke over there. That's the support. That's going to be for our AT-RT Walker, and that's another core symbol.
Alrighty.
Same on the other end. We have the core for the Stormtroopers. We've got the support for the speeder bikes, and we've got the command for Darth Vader. Awesome. So the way this round starts is we're going to grab a hand of cards here. In a normal game, you have about 7 cards in your hand to play. This is going to determine who's going to issue orders first and who's going to take the first turn. Because the bulk of the game goes like we just did, where it's back and forth, one activation over here, one activation over here until everyone's activated.
Yep.
So issuing orders allows you more control over specifically which units are going to activate. So to start this off, we're going to decide between our 2 command cards here which one we're going to play. There's 2 values you'll see here. We've got up on this end, we've got the pip value, which is like the priority. So the less pips, the higher the priority. And then we've got how many units we're going to issue orders to, which in this case is 3. So I'd recommend playing that one.
All right, so I'm going to go with Tim here and play the assault card.
Cool. These would be put face down and you reveal them simultaneously.
I'm not going to tell you that I'm playing the assault card.
So I've got ambush and push.
So as you can tell, the ones with the higher priority issue fewer orders.
Okay, that makes sense. It's like balancing.
Yep.
Alright, I'm going to randomly choose one.
It's not random. You better decide.
This is my order.
Alrighty.
All right, let's go ahead and reveal those cards out here.
So I revealed assault and you revealed ambush.
All right, so it looks like assault's got a lower priority than ambush.
Yep.
So that means the ambush is going to issue orders first, and they're also going to make the first activation.
Okay.
So let's first issue some orders. So when we're issuing orders, we're going to grab our handy dandy range ruler here, and we're going to measure to see if we're within range 1 to 3 of our commander, which in this case is Darth Vader. So go ahead and you can check and make sure which units are within range 1 to 3. Should be all of them.
All of them, yep.
All right, cool. So we're going to grab some of those command tokens, and you can issue orders.
Okay.
The way this works is when you have a face-up command token next to one of your units.
Yes.
When you're activating, you can activate one that has a face-up token next to it, or you could randomly draw from your remaining tokens and activate whatever type of unit you draw.
So you usually have a stack of these.
Yeah. So you're going to have a whole bunch depending on the number of units.
Attention GenCon attendees, join Vader Games in Lucas Oil Stadium.
So you can look at them face-up and then decide which one to
Mammoth, giant, and standard game event.
Yeah,
And they have to be placed on the corresponding unit.
Yep, correct. So.
And don't miss your last chance to compete in the 2017 Agricola U.S. National Championship.
After we do this,
World Championship this fall in Germany.
All right. So these are my commands. The commands have to go with the respective units. I put this one here. Vader is my commander.
They'll go face up.
Oh, face
They
up.
haven't activated yet.
Okay.
And my 2 troopers.
All right, so you only get to issue 1 order for your ambush, and the rest are going to go face down.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll choose one of these guys to issue an order to, and the rest we're going to shuffle up into a pile that we're going to draw from.
Well, I feel like we'll try ambush with these guys
Okay,
before
cool.
they die.
So we'll collect all these, shuffle them up, and you'll set them aside, or if you had a bag, you can put them in a bag.
Okay.
Awesome. So now that we've got your ambush issue ordered, we can do the same over here. We're going to measure from your commander, Luke Skywalker.
Luke Skywalker.
Looks like he can reach every unit.
It looks like he can reach everybody.
Awesome. So you get to issue 3 orders. So you're going to have a lot more control over which units activate in the next round.
Okay. All right.
I feel like I should do it on these guys. Let's get them into the map.
Cool. So we'll grab their token instead then.
Makes more sense.
Support token. Got it.
Okay. So you've chosen with your 1 order to activate the speeder bikes.
Correct, as an ambush, yep.
I want to activate Luke Skywalker.
Awesome. So set it face up next to him.
So I don't know how far he's going to go. We'll figure it out.
And the rest of these will get put in a pile here, and then we'll shuffle them up. So you'll draw from those.
Okay, I don't assign 3 units.
So, sorry. Go ahead.
Yep. Okay. So I got. I'll do these dudes, and let's get this gentleman into the fray. What kind of is he? This?
That's the support.
All right.
Yep.
Support.
I really like that mechanic. It's really quite
It's a very good mechanism.
Well, what you've set up here is really nice because now this last one's going to get put in a pile, but
Randomly
you have absolute control over which units activate, which is really good.
Feeling good.
I've gone the risky technique to try and get these guys to
And
do
if you
some
start
damage.
drawing, you might want to move Vader and you end up moving troopers or vice versa. All right, now that we have those orders issued, we're going to start the next round with an activation. Since you had the higher priority on your command card, you're going to get to activate a unit first.
Okay.
So you could activate your speeder bikes if you want, or you could draw a random command token to activate.
I'm going to follow through with the speeder bikes. So
Awesome.
I'll activate the speeder bikes.
So these guys are interesting. They're the bigger bases, so we'll notice that these have firing arcs on them split.
Yep.
So their primary weapon here has a fixed front firing arc.
Okay, yes.
That means it's powerful, but it needs to shoot out that front arc.
Yep.
They also move a little different.
Okay.
So when you're moving these guys, you're going to have to slot the maneuver templates into those front guides and then into the rear guides accordingly.
Okay, yes.
Right?
Okay.
So to do that, they also have one more thing that's important. So we'll have this ability here called Speeder 1.
Yep.
The first part of it allows them to move over a certain level of terrain.
Okay.
The second part's the one that's relevant to us right now. It says when you activate, perform a compulsory move.
Okay.
So this is a non-action,
It's a non-action,
but
nice.
they're going to have to move. So we're
Yeah.
going to grab their speed template, which is 3, and we're going to move them the full speed 3 out of the battle. This doesn't count towards your 2 actions,
Yeah.
so you'll still get 2 actions
So
after
is this 2 or 3?
This is a 3 template, and they can go up to 3, yeah. And you can obviously bend that to get the angle you want. The firing arc's very important. And the same thing here, we have another miniature. We're just going to move that miniature into cohesion with
Yes,
this
yeah. Okay, so
unit leader.
So that's what we want.
Yep.
So I can also put him in front, correct?
Yeah, correct.
Okay, so I could have him, which allows the
That's a
second
bit
unit.
It's all right. Yeah, we'll pick
So
these.
you can kind of cheat movement a little bit like that.
Yeah, you got some flexibility there on that.
I like
And then
that.
you can set it up with the arc where you want to go. Yeah.
Grab these guys by the bases. That's on the fringe. They do have to be oriented the same way, so you
Sure.
can't like angle them out. So they're going to
okay.
have to.
That looks good to me. I'm happy with that.
You got it. All right, so that was your compulsory move. You still have 2 actions
So
here.
I can shoot twice.
You can't shoot twice. So the
Okay.
only action you can perform twice is the move action or multiple
Okay.
times. Every other action you can perform a single time. I would recommend maybe pulling a aim action here to give you some modification on your die rolls.
Yes. So we'll aim.
Cool, we'll grab one of those green crosshair tokens there. Set that next to these guys. That's your first action.
Perfect, yes.
And then we can fire if we'd like.
Sounds good.
So we can check their weapon value. They've got a range of 1 to 3, it looks like there.
So-
looks like it's within the front firing arc, so you can choose
We're
targets
going to
here.
avenge the stormtrooper, so we'll go for some rebels.
Awesome. So we
behind.
measure from the unit leader to the closest miniature in the target.
Well and truly in range.
Yep, and then but it does look like it has cover.
Correct, yes. Now we roll our attack dice. So we've got a red, is that right? A red, black, and
A red, a black, and a white, and since you have 2 miniatures in your unit,
Yep.
you're going to roll double that.
Feels
So,
good. Feels
yeah.
good.
Die pool here. There you go.
Just explain to me why he gets double again.
Yeah, so when
look at the card here.
like when we fired with the rebel troopers or the stormtroopers, for each unit, each miniature in your unit, you're going to get that many dice on the attack.
Yep.
Those dice is 1 per 1.
1 per, so he'll get 2 of each because he has 2 miniatures in this
That's
unit.
awesome, all right.
Yep. If he starts to lose miniatures in his unit, it's going to reduce the attack value
All
from
right.
that unit.
So
That's what I'm trying to do.
Let's see if we can do some damage. Hopefully they aim better than stormtroopers.
All right. We do have an aim token here, so we can re-roll some blanks if you like to spend this token.
Now, surges for these guys. So I re-roll my surges and he's going to go to blank? Or,
It looks like they're going to convert to hits, so
Okay,
we'll leave those out
keep
and then
those
check
as
for
is.
it. Yeah.
I'm
Awesome.
gonna
So we got a crit, and we can convert our surges with your conversion there to hits.
That's a lot of business you got
a lot
there.
of business. Speeders are on fire.
So it looks like we got 4 hits here
I
and a
want the
critical
spears on
result.
fire. But
Now they do have cover, so we're
Yes.
going to go ahead and remove one of these hit results. And now you're going to roll defense. So we're going to see what their defensive die is.
on the
which
rebel
is a
troopers
white die.
again.
Yep.
Looking at the white die.
Yeah, and then we're going to grab a bunch of one per uncancelled hit or crit.
1 per uncancelled hit crit. So I need 5 or yeah, per hits.
Yep.
Right. All right, so I got 2.
Cool. No other conversions there. So you're going to cancel 2 of these out. So you're going to take 2 wounds, which in the case of the rebel troopers, they only have 1 wound per miniature in the unit.
Yep.
So we're going to actually just remove a number of miniatures equal to the number of wounds you took.
Sorry, Greg, and good old
I feel like we avenged a little bit, and I feel like
good
we're
old
gonna take-
Colton.
All right. Obviously now when they activate an attack, they're going to have a reduced attack power.
Of course, yeah.
All right, so you finished activating these guys. You got your 2 actions. So we're going to flip that token face down. Cool. All right. And then we can go over one of your activations.
I want to do Luke Skywalker.
Awesome. We can do Luke
I
Skywalker.
don't even care what he does. I just want to see him move.
So Luke Skywalker's got some cool abilities here. We check out his card. He has Jump 1, which is when you have higher levels of terrain, he can move around them more easily.
Okay.
You also have this really cool ability called Charge. So after you perform a move action, you may perform a free melee attack.
Oh wow.
So if you move twice and made base contact with one of the enemy units, you could then immediately perform a melee attack.
Okay.
You
Does
also-
he fly across the battlefield?
Not right now, though. I don't think he's going to make it quite far enough.
Right.
You also have deflect there. So normally he doesn't have any defensive surge conversion.
Yep.
But when he's defending, if he spends a dodge token, then he's going to gain the conversion of defensive
Surge
surge
to shields.
to shield. Yeah, block.
Yeah, awesome.
If it's a range attack, you can then deflect one of those for each surge roll. Basically,
Right.
deal damage out.
And he's immune to pierce.
Correct.
Whatever
yes.
whatever that's worth.
So Pierce is a value that comes on certain weapons and certain attacks that will cancel out hit results.
Okay, awesome. So I got to move him.
Yeah, so if you want to move him, that's fine.
Yep.
So we can
Alright.
check his movement speed there on his card, which I believe
All right,
is 2.
so it's we're looking at movement speed of. Where's it again? Sorry.
Oh, it's the
I
lower
see it.
right
Yeah,
there.
2 right. So
The
we
red
move
bars.
2. So if he runs into cover, he's only going to get shot by the things that to activate him. He's got to deflect. I don't know if I want to do that. I might try and move him over here. So let's get that over here. And I'll put him here. He's going to be in like maybe some sort of cover. We'll find out. All right, so we've moved Luke.
Yep, that's one action.
Yep.
You got another action here.
And he can't really do anything, right?
Not really. You could move again if you wanted to. You could take a dodge token if you wanted to.
Yeah, dodge sounds good.
He's got a blaster pistol, but it only goes up to range 2.
That's fine. So what's a dodge token? These things?
Yeah, it's not the crosshair one. The other.
This guy. This is a dodge token. You put that next to Luke there. He's probably going to need it.
Yeah. Well, the normal way we spend that is to cancel a hit result, but Luke also gets that extra ability when he spends one.
So I flip this down now.
Yep, he is activated.
All right.
All right. Then we're going to move over back to the Imperial player.
All right, so this is where now I draw one of these on my top one. I got a trooper.
So you can activate either of your core units.
Okay.
Yeah.
I sort of want to shoot a Luke.
Don't shoot the Luke.
Well, the nice thing is you're in a position you're already behind cover. You can just start taking aims and start firing.
Okay. Let's shoot a Luke with these guys. So we're gonna take an aim.
You would.
I would. Well and truly in range. Range 2, in fact. Do you get bonuses for being at range 1?
No bonus.
No bonus. And now I roll my 5 white dice. The stormtroopers, they're not going to hit you.
And these little things, unfortunately, are not going to add any cover here. We're just doing the barricades today.
That's okay. No worries. All right, so we got a bunch of nothing. Oh, you got to hit the crit.
And I get to reroll.
So they have a special ability. So normally a aim token only lets you reroll 2 blanks, but stormtroopers have a value called Precise 1. So when they reroll with an aim token, they can roll an additional die.
Is that a sick joke?
Not the first time I've heard that.
If
I'm
a
sure it
stormtrooper
isn't.
kills Luke, I'm going to laugh.
All right,
So it's a surge.
you got a surge. They can convert those to a hit. Yep.
You got 3.
All right, so Luke's got to roll an evade for each of these. Oh, sorry, what are these called?
Defense die.
A
We're going to
defense
check
die?
his defense value, though.
feel
So
like he
his
would be
dice
defensive.
is a red defense dice. It's a little better than the white defense.
Okay, I feel better about this.
Yeah.
All right, so you're going to roll these red dice here.
Do it.
Well, these are a little bit better than the white ones. All right, that's not a great result.
So we can spend that
You get
dodge
your
token if you'd like
Dodge token.
to add,
So
cancel one of the hits.
So I can deflect it? Okay, okay.
So that's only the deflect.
If I had a
triggers,
surge,
they have a
yeah.
surge
All right,
result
so I'm going to spend this to add a thing.
Cool. So you're going to just take 1 wound, and
Alright.
since he has a wound threshold of 6,
You're good.
the green value there.
Yep.
We're going to just take one of our damage counters and put that next to Luke.
All right, poor Luke, you took it.
There you go.
So that's I like that mechanic.
Just a
as
flesh
well.
wound.
So surges have different abilities, different
Yeah,
effects. for
depending on the
different
type of unit you're doing.
That's good. So that's
the same kind of dice. Yeah.
Nice.
All right,
Awesome.
so you've activated those guys?
Yeah.
Yes. So there you go.
You could move if
And
you
you
wanted
spent
to.
that token too, right?
Correct.
He could move if you wanted to, but I don't think he does.
No, no,
He
I
could
aimed.
double move, but he already did 2 actions. He took an aim action
Oh,
and he
of
took
course.
a fire
Yeah,
action.
that makes sense.
All right, we're going to go over to the Rebel player now. You can activate
I want to activate this thing.
All right, he's pretty sweet. We got our ATRs here.
All right, ATRT.
Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and check its movement speed. It's
Alright,
another one of
it's
those
2?
big bases, so when we move it, we got to use the notches on the front. and
But
rear
it's
to
2?
move.
So is it?
Yeah. One thing I'd recommend, though, let's double check to see if he doesn't already have range. Because you'll notice he's got an
of course.
upgrade card here that gives him a weapon that shoots range 2 to 4.
It's pretty nasty looking. These bees.
He has his upgrade card here. The laser cannon. Oh, so where's the
Range
stick?
ruler over there.
That's yeah.
Alrighty.
So we're going to get this guy up to range 4 now.
Oh, we're assembling the range ruler.
Range ruler. And we're going to measure
I'm a
pre-measure.
little concerned.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you're in a
Looks
whole
like-
mess of trouble.
Looks like there's cover, though. So that one's going to let
I'm not
you
worried
roll,
about it. Like, I'm
roll
gonna.
the dice on the upgrade card.
So can I take an aim action first?
You could take an aim action.
Should I? I think I
I think you
should.
should.
Right, I'm gonna take an aim action,
I don't know if you can need that. Yeah.
and then I'm gonna. What's this? It's got impact 3 and fixed front.
Yep.
So they're inside a front firing arc.
Impact is something that affects when you're shooting at something with armor. The stormtroopers don't have that
They,
kind of armor.
they don't have armor. Yep. All right, so I'm gonna roll a black, and a red. Is that right?
There you go.
Alrighty. Which are the best dice?
I believe the black.
The black ones?
Or the red
Alright.
ones, actually.
There we go.
Wow.
Hitting a critical hit.
It's gonna hurt come winter.
All right, there we go. So those are your results.
All right.
We do have cover there, I believe. So we have line
you
of
remove
sight.
one of these?
We'll cancel one of the hit results.
Yep.
Cover can't cancel crits, though. So if it was all crits, it
Yep.
would have been
Just
different.
Okay.
takes the damage.
Yeah.
So now we're on
Now
my
you roll your defense for your stormtroopers. I believe they have a red defense die.
red defense.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, so you just got 1 and 8. So we're going to take 1 wound, so you're going to lose a stormtrooper.
Lose
All
the
right.
Stormtrooper.
We were just talking about Ash like 10 minutes ago.
There goes Kyle.
I probably should have spent this, but I didn't. It's all right.
Didn't you generate 3 hits?
You got 3 hits.
Oh yeah, I just valued it, nothing but net.
So that
All
token
right.
would stay. You're not going to be able to use it again, but it'll clear at the end of the round.
Okay,
That's clear.
that's
Yeah,
fine.
like
Yep.
that.
All the green, the dodges, and aim tokens. all
Okay,
at the end of the round.
Okay, so I've activated this. This comes face down
Yep,
now.
it goes face down, and we're going to move over to you.
Okay, so I draw my next one, which is the troops again.
Yeah, you got it.
Feeling good.
And there you had control because you knew what your remaining face down card was.
Yes.
Yep.
All right, so activate these guys. We're gonna shoot a Luke again.
All right.
So
You don't have to.
I'll take the aim. I've got to soften him up for Vader. We're in range there. We're rolling 4 dice now.
They're all about the right size.
Attention GenCon attendees! Did you know the code name Ellie is a brand new
He's going to roll
number?
4 dice here.
This time it's a cooperative.
Taking Mr. Skywalker. That's a hit and a crit.
And I can roll these 2.
Check games edition.
With your aim, so you spend the aim, and then you convert those surges with the stormtroopers conversion
Oh, of
charge.
course, they're
Stormtroopers, these are good stormtroopers. They're Vader stormtroopers. These.
Right, sure.
All right. That guy's spent. All right.
So I get to roll an evade dice for each of these.
Yep, correct.
And Luke rolls red evade dice.
Correct.
So I've got a 4th one.
I'll grab it for you.
Awesome. Right, I'll just get these ready. We have to wrap this up. Running a battery. Alright, so I got my 4th die. Alright, so 3.
3. So we're going to take 1 wound on Luke.
Now the critical hit doesn't matter?
The critical doesn't affect the damage. Criticals are only applied. They ignore cover and they ignore
okay.
dodge tokens.
That's
you can't
fine.
cancel a crit with
So
a
Luke's
dodge
got 4
token.
wounds left, Charles.
4 left.
Correct. All right.
Okay. Alright,
Awesome.
so you've done one thing with them, or?
Yeah, so these are activated.
They
now.
aimed and they attacked.
yep,
so
of
that's
course they
2
aimed to
actions,
take-
so they're activated.
back
So
to
we're
me.
back over to you.
So I've got just these guys left.
Sure.
I'll activate these guys. I'll take pot shots at the stormtroopers over there.
All right. I think we already have range here. You can double check now.
Yeah, we still have range.
Still got range.
Which is my unit leader, sorry? This is
Unit leader's gonna be this guy right here.
the guy with the sick duster?
Yeah.
Alrighty. So we look at that card again. I'm going to roll black dice for each.
Yep. So you only got 3 at this point.
Only 3. Someone ruined my attack efficiency. That's 2 there.
2 and
All right. And they do have cover, so we're gonna cancel one of
Get
those
one,
hits.
so you take 1.
Yep.
I roll
And he gets to
my-
roll defense equal to the number of uncanceled hits or crits.
And they roll red ones.
And they roll red defense
So
die.
just 1 dice.
Yep.
Just 1. You got to miss. It's fine.
We got a surge, but they have no defensive surge chart, so that becomes a blank.
Yep, and
And you're
then
gonna lose a
Huzzah.
trooper.
trooper dies.
Now, can I move these guys since I didn't do anything else?
If you didn't do anything else, yeah, you can move.
And they're 2.
Yep, they have the speed of 2, represented by the red bars.
So I need to. It's a little awkward. So I can get
Yeah,
this
you
guy
can
out of
move
here
him out
because
of
he
it, yeah.
doesn't matter. He's just going to come in later,
He'll
right?
come in with cohesion.
I like that. That's nice and elegant. I'm going to move this up to this bit of cover here and bring the lads around. See, they're fooling themselves. They think they're going to shoot Vader.
All right, and now they're activated, so we'll flip their rank token down.
Alrighty.
And now we go Vader.
We just got Lord Vader left.
All right, so Vader's feeling pretty confident, as he does.
Yeah.
So we're just going to...
Does he have any cool abilities?
His ability...
He's got some really cool stuff. He has ability that's similar to the melee ability that Luke had. If you look at the card here, so we've got an ability called Relentless. So after you perform a move action, you may perform a free attack action.
Oh, okay, yeah, cool.
So what that would mean is normally he just has his 1 melee. If he ever had any upgrades on him that gave him additional attacks, he'd be able to perform those as well.
Okay, awesome.
All right, so we're going to move... I feel like Vader and Luke need to go at it.
Get closer. Now, if you look at the movement speed on Vader, he's a pretty slow guy.
Okay.
Old robot man. So we're gonna grab our 1 speed.
Oh, 1, well. Yeah.
He's just arrogant. He's not slow. He just doesn't care.
Just doesn't care. He's walking. So I can double move, basically. So we'll...
In the interest of time here, do you reckon we can just move Vader and Luke
Yeah,
into
so
combat?
we can see a melee here.
Yeah,
let's
and then we'll kind of
let's
wrap
get
it
him
up.
closer. Cool. So let's say we get in. You move in with your first action,
Yep.
and then you're gonna make contact. So we make contact there. We go into base.
We definitely got some contact there.
Yeah. So now they're engaged.
Everyone around, you all saw it.
Now, if they were facing off against like a unit that was made up of a bunch of miniatures,
Okay.
They would all then have to be placed around the unit they're engaged.
Oh wow,
with. Yeah.
like a butterfly of death.
Exactly, but
Or
now we
flower
can
of
check a
death.
melee attack here.
Yep.
So we've got Vader's value here, which is attack weapon. It's melee, as you can see by that symbol.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, and you're gonna roll 6 red dice. So we don't even have enough red dice here right now,
Alright,
so we'll
that's
add
all
an
right.
extra 2 once we roll them. All right, so we've got hit, crit, and he has a surge conversion to a no surge conversions
Okay.
there, so that becomes a blank.
Yep.
So we need to roll 2 more dice to hit that 6 dice value. So another hit, and then Another hit. So it would have been 4 hits and 1 crit.
Yes.
All right?
So just 5?
5
Yeah,
hits,
so it
yeah.
would have
All
been
right,
5. Yeah.
just 5.
Just 5 hits, that's all. All right, and then Luke would obviously roll his defense here.
And Luke's still the red.
Yep, so he's going to get red die equal to the number. So,
So I've only got 4 on me. So I get 1 more of these. So these are all, and this is a surge?
Yeah, but he doesn't have a defensive surge unless you spend an evade.
I would need to
or
vote
dodge
to.
token.
So I'm going to re-roll this because
Yep.
As our 6th die, that's a blank. So I've
right.
stopped 3 of your nonsense.
Yep, so you're going to take 2 wounds on Luke.
All right, so I'm just going to replace
Getting down to the bottom there.
this with this, and we got there.
There you go.
He's got 2 left here.
Cool. And I think we've activated everybody at this point, so once Vader's done his 2 actions, we're going to flip that face down.
Yes.
All right, that's going to be the end of the round. We would clear the green tokens like that aim token over there, and then we go to our hand of cards. The cards we already played, these command cards, they were face up. Sometimes they might have ongoing abilities that would have affected the battle. These ones don't. Those are gone though. We're going to have to choose from our new selection.
Okay.
All right, well,
cards.
that's awesome. We'll stop it there so you can get some other people in here.
Yeah.
We've got some questions though about the game.
Yeah,
This,
for sure.
we were speaking to Alex before, so you guys have started developing this since 2016, correct?
I don't work for Fantasy Flight. I'm just a contractor.
Okay.
So yeah.
We might catch up with him a bit later.
Yeah, we might speak to him a bit
Well, thank you
later
so much, Tim, for running us through this amazing miniatures game.
Looks fantastic. Terrain looks amazing.
Glad you guys liked it.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Stay tuned for more content from GenCon 2017. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.